and it affected my paradigms. So I recommend it to every one of you, especially those who are peri-graduation. You're in your final year, or you're starting house job, or just after house job, NYSC. That's a good one, okay, to go into. And why are we doing all this? We want to see our attrition rates go down, down, and down. For now, we are not there, but we are better. We are moving up. So we want you to know that as you leave, that's why, in the past, we used to do like campus fellowship. Once we finish as students, we just send you off. But now what do? We do an induction ceremony. That is symbolic. So by the time you are leaving being students, you are just moving from one place to the other. It's like you are moving from preclinical school to clinical school. You don't stop being students, right? So when you now move from having that MBBS, you just transition to becoming doctors. And that is what you'll be for the rest of your life, really. So it's an opportunity that all you have been learning, you now have a space to put those things into practice. So we want to see more and more of you transition to become doctors who are caring for the whole man. We don't want people to just disappear. We don't want people to just get missing. And what we are doing is that we are connecting people with the closest CMDA they can find. And sometimes when you get to a place where it looks like CMDA is not functional, you can start one. You can strengthen a movement that is already ongoing. Let me tell you a little of my own story in Bauchi. When I got to Bauchi for my NYSC, I discovered the doctors were not meeting. The doctors were not meeting at all. There was no meeting. I asked, and there were Christian doctors there. And I asked myself, why are doctors not meeting? We need to meet. We need to meet at CMD to encourage ourselves. Because some of the people there are people I had seen in conferences as a student. And I remembered, I printed out letters, I reached out to people. My alawi was around 26,000 then. So I went and I hired a hall. The hall was about 15,000. I got the hall. I got a speaker, Dr. M.D. Yusuf, Robinson Yusuf. He's, those in Bauchi, you may know him. He's in the State's Ministry of Health. And he was to be our speaker that day. I had gone around, invited, what we do for programs. The program was for 5. I was there 4:30, praying, expecting. Then 5 minutes to 5, Dr. Robinson came in. He said, you're alone here. I said, sir, they are coming. I believe they will come. So he joined me. We prayed a bit. 5:15, I'll be checking. 5:20, 5:30. He said he has another meeting to attend. So he had to leave. So I was alone. And I stayed there till 7 p.m. Nobody showed up. Was that encouraging? So it was so discouraging. And I remember kneeling down, and from 26, I hired a hall, 15,000. I did smoke puff and got some drinks, So I spent close to like 25,000 just for that meeting. And people didn't show up. Of course, I carried my Zomo, my drinks, and everything, and I left. But I sowed a seed of prayer that, Lord, a seed has been sown, and CMD Bauchi must stand. So by Monday, I went round, brother, we didn't see you, you didn't come, different, and all that and all that. But the long and short is, before I left Bauchi, we started meeting in our homes and rotating. Okay? And then today, I'm happy to see that CMD now even has CMD Nigeria students in Bauchi. And I'm happy to know that they are in this conference. I'm also happy to know that they are growing. I'm happy to know that the doctors are meeting. I'm no longer in Bauchi. This is some years back now. But we have Christian doctors who are meeting. So why do I tell you this? You might get to a location where CMDA may not be, operational. You are CMDA. We are CMDA. You start a movement there. And if you get to a place where something is already ongoing, strengthen what is ongoing. Join what is already on ground. I hope that makes sense. And as you do that, God will bless you. You never can tell the small, little sacrifices we make and how far it will go. Now quickly, let me tell us about a conference we are looking and working towards, the ICMDA West African Conference. So you know that all our chapters belong to the national body, right? And then the national body, or the CMDA, doctors and students, we all belong to an international community, right? So what we are doing is not just local. And the vision for ICMDA is to have a Christian witness community in every nation. So it doesn't matter whether you remain back in Nigeria. You know, like I tell my students on Word Round, I know I am training you for US, for UK. You are not writing our exams again, right? USMLE, PLAB, AMC. But we still train them all the same, because the vision is to have a Christian witness in every community. So it doesn't matter whether you are staying or going. Whichever divide you fall into, the main thing is that we'll just be that Christian witness. So CMDA Nigeria is part of the larger body, which is ICMDA. And ICMDA already has over 106 countries that are registered. And ICMDA holds a World Congress once in 4 years. So once in 4 years, there's a World Congress. But in between that time, you can have a regional conference. So in May, just next month, May 29th to 31st, but for the leaders, it will be May 27th, we'll be having a regional conference that will be taking place in Liberia. And the theme for the conference is transformation, Romans 12 verse 2. So for that conference, we're already mobilizing. Some students are here. I know some of you who are on our group who already met me, who have indicated strong interest to go. And I really, really commend that. The first time I left the shores of this country in 2009 was to attend something like that. Okay? And you can never tell. Part of your learning, part of your education is traveling. Traveling gives you good exposure. You meet people, you are encouraged. You know that what you are doing is not just something local in a corner. So you see people doing global things. I remember one World Congress I attended. It remained permanent in my mind. I saw a generation of 4 doctors. Great-grandfather, already bent, using a stick, you know, like that. 4 generations attending a conference. And that kind of, you know, it creates, and then you're able to network with others. You cross-pollinate ideas, and you build long-lasting friendship. So the mobilization is still ongoing. I know that the times are tough. I know that it's challenging gathering funds. And somebody will say, even to come for this conference, I know how hard it was. You're talking of a regional. By the time you start calculating everything by yourself, you may not be able to, you know, achieve or... Okay, so let me summarize. So we are mobilizing, and on our team, we have about 56 people who have indicated interest. But for now, 22 have registered, and there are other processes for the conference. So if you are still interested, if you check your WhatsApp, we're going to share the link again. You can still join. And then sometimes you go to a conference not because you have all the money. I've never gone for any World Congress where at the beginning having all the funds. No. The first thing is the desire. And the desire moves you to pray. And as you pray, if there's a strong pulling to be part of that conference, the Lord makes ways for you to be able to be there. Some of you will understand what I'm saying. Others may not. Then in ICMDA, you have plenty of opportunities to be trained. What we call ICMDA training tracks. Most of them are 10-week-long courses. You know, that will solidify your thinking, solidify your mind. We have one on leadership, which I'll recommend to all of you because you are all leaders. It's called the Sydenham Leadership Course. So weekly for 10 weeks, you are interacting with other leaders outside of your own locality, and you are cross-pollinating ideas and getting more perspective from others and building your own capacity as a leader. There are other forms of training like bioethics. Some of you are interested in research and ethics. There are other forms of training like servant leadership, several of them. So if you go to www.icmda.net, you are going to see all of the training tracks. So I encourage you to visit ICMDA website, visit CMDA Nigeria website. And please, if you have not subscribed for CMDA Nigeria, try and do so. Because there are benefits that come to those who subscribe, and certain information will be trickling down to you more easily than if you have not subscribed at all. Then lastly, next year, 2026, we will have a World Congress. The world will gather at Jeju Island. By that conference, we are hoping that ICMDA will become 123 registered countries. So you don't want to miss that kind of... Thank you. So you can start planning for that. That will be in the last week of June to first week of July. Okay? So you can start, planning towards that. The last one we had was in Tanzania. Before Tanzania, we had in India, like that. So every 4 years, it goes round. So by next year, 2026, ICMDA World Congress will hold in South Korea. There's an island called Jeju Island. Okay, Jeju Island was picked because it's easy to just go to Jeju Island without going into South Korea. When ICMDA picks a place for a conference, they pick a place where people can easily come. So if you put the conference inside South Korea, many of us will not get visas because they are very selective